was a month to the start of the British Champions Series and the first classic of the season. What's this time of year like for a flat jockey with so much of the season to look forward to?
I think it's the same for everybody. Everyone's excited, hoping that geese are swans and yeah, praying we get a clear run for the season. And I think for the last month it's been that way.
But how different is it this year, Jamie? Because you've been freelance for the last couple of years, but this year you'll be doing the season as a retained jockey.
Yeah, it's obviously different because we've got so many trainers. So I've got to get around the horses and give feedback back. So it's a little bit different, but yeah, I don't think a whole pile will change other than that. My emphasis is totally on him. I went to Santa Anita to Simon Callahan's in February, and I've been to France once already. So yeah, I'm sure I'll get around it. No 2 days are the same, so you kind of, you're with the horses that they have. You're just hoping you find a star.
And what's Sheikh Fahad Thani like to ride for?
He's easy to ride for. I've been riding for him, for, on and off a bit for the last year and a half. I obviously started riding Pearl Secret initially, and some of the other horses. So yeah, he's very intelligent. He knows about racing, and he's got a huge amount of knowledge for someone so young and not being in racing so long. And I think he studies it a lot more than probably a lot of people. I had lunch with Sheikh Fahad and David a few weeks ago, and they were talking about the big picture. But what is the big picture? I think Sheikh Fahad there's a big plan behind everything. So I think he'll just see how it goes and watch the space, I suppose.
Do you see this season as a new chapter for you in your career?
I've been quite fortunate in my career so far. I've always had good people around me, and I'd like to think I've earned the job because I've worked hard, and over the last few seasons had quite a bit of success. So I suppose it's a new chapter, but I don't feel I don't deserve it.
And of course, last time you were a retained rider for Coolmore, it only lasted a year. What do you think is different this time round?
I think I'm at the stage now, I've got a lot of experience, and when you're younger you don't realise how much you need experience. And once you get the experience of big races, and when things aren't happening in a race the way you want, you got to diverse. And I just think all around I'm probably a better rider.
A bit more level-headed and aware of the highs and the lows.
Yeah, and I think as regards I don't get too excited when I win, and I don't get too deflated when I don't win. I've learned not to make huge targets. I make little targets, and I think basically to make as little mistakes as possible is my big target.
So you're a busy man, you're jetting off all around the world. So when you're back home, what do you like to do?
I like to spend as much time as I can with my children. So when you're busy all the time, I speak to them every morning, every night. But when I get home and I have a day off, I like to spend as much time as I can with them, and they're important. So they're basically my hobby.
And what's your cooking like? Are you a bit of a gourmet chef?
I wouldn't describe myself as that. I can survive. I think that's probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
I probably eat more when I'm racing than I do when I have a day off. On a day off, I mightn't bother to eat till lunchtime, and then have something, and then might eat something in the evening. But I'm not. Some days, every day is different, and my diet is basically driven by when I look at the 48-hour declaration to see what weight I have in 2 days' time.
Do you have ambitions to be champion jockey again?
Yeah, well, number one, I don't have the numbers to be champion jockey, and number two, it'd be wholeheartedly selfish of me, considering my job, to try and do something like that. Number one, I have to work hard, be there in the mornings and in the afternoon for Sheikh Fahad, and it's equally important that he gets the feedback on his horses. And also, if I'm chasing my tail around the country, you will start making mistakes in races that are probably more important than as much as every race is important. You've got to spread yourself out evenly rather than just being all over the place, and then that's when mistakes will creep in. You're tired, and it's just. I can't explain how tiring it is when you try to be champion jockey. I don't want to set myself targets, but there's races around the world that you'd like to win. When you look back at all the races that Mick Cannon won, and you know, Ryan's won a lot of the big races around the world, just outside England and Europe. So I think I've got an opportunity with this job with Sheikh Fahad. He's got good vision, and he's got good people around him. David Redvers is he's extremely clever. So I just think if I'm ever going to win any of those races around the world, this is my time. But they have the finance and the horses to achieve it. It's always an exciting time of year, regardless of what you've got to look forward to in this time of year. Everyone's looking forward to the turf starting, but I think I'm a little bit more excited than normal.